Welcome to the high frequency mock draft for the 2025 NBA season. I wouldn't say it's a weekly mock draft because that is insane. These guys don't play that often. But here we are, number one overall pick with the Washington Wizards. And there's no doubt, no surprises. Cooper Flagg is still number one overall. The big difference between him and Dylan Harper is those God-given gifts, those tangible abilities. Size, 6'9", athleticism. Dylan Harper really lacks it. He's more of a stout, below the rim kind of guy, while Cooper Flagg can fly, as seen by some of the posters that he's thrown down. But Cooper Flagg dropped 42 against Notre Dame. I will say the tape, it struggles to blow me away. He's not a LeBron James prospect. He's not a Victor Wembanyama prospect, but he is damn good. I think in the long run, he is certainly a number 2 option on a championship team. I just don't think this year's draft class is all that great, but we are going to be taking him number 1 overall. Doesn't matter what team is picking. He's purely the best player. He can play point guard. He can play shooting guard. He can play center for you if you needed to. Going to the Washington Wizards, no surprises there. Number 2 overall goes Dylan Harper. Now, when last seen doing a mock draft, Dylan Harper was shooting 17% from the three-point line. He has boosted that number up to, I believe, 37, 38%. And that was really the difference between, for me, him falling out of the top 5 and him going number 2 overall. He has an incredible feel for the game at such a young age, an uncanny ability. He has flipped the script on who's better between him or Ace Bailey for the Rutgers team. His issue is that he's a tick undersized, but he's going to be playing the point guard, sort of Luka Doncic-ish primary ball handler role, and his defense leaves a little to be desired. But other than that, he checks all the boxes mentally. He's just got such a great feel for the game. The shot is coming along from the three-point line. His free throw isn't great, so I don't know how much we can trust it, but Dylan Harper, just based on pure basketball ability and feel alone, is going here at number 2 overall and has been playing sensational for the Rutgers. And here at number 3 is where we start to have a little fun. Now, I'm looking at this draft board. For me, the third best player is Igor Demin. I just love the tape that I see out of BYU. The problem is when he's on BYU, the competition sucks. He plays teams like Loyola, Southern Bishop, Missouri, like just the worst schools ever. So his competition isn't all that great, but he's a 6'9" point guard. I mean, you can't draw it up better than that. That's all that you ask for. His defense is lackluster and he is a little bit skinny, but that does help him be more athletic on the perimeter. That being said, this Charlotte Hornets squad once again finds himself in the same place as the Scoot Henderson draft, where they don't need somebody who's a ball dominant guard. So you want to look to the wing position if there's not a generational center player available. And that's where you say, all right, who can we pair up alongside LaMelo Ball, alongside Brandon Miller? Now, Ace Bailey makes a lot of sense just because of the pure potential alone. His feel for the game is a little lackluster. So there's like Tracy McGrady comparisons for him. And he's a freak athlete, 6'10", can do it all, has a smooth mid-range jumper, but he's awkward. He's young, he's raw. He's probably at least 3 years away from really starting to hit his stride. He just doesn't feel the game as well as his co-star or his teammate Dylan Harper does. Now, I personally like Trey Johnson. He's been falling on draft boards a lot, but the dude is a bucket. His defense is a little lackluster, so who's going to be a primary defender on this team? I don't really know. And with the Hornets, he can really go anywhere. I think I'm going to stick with Ace Bailey for now, but Trey Johnson would be my alternate. Don't be surprised if that's a direction that they go. And at the number 4 overall pick is the Raptors. Are they good? Are they bad? Nobody knows. Is RJ Barrett here for the long haul? Nobody knows. Is Emmanuel quickly here for the long haul? Nobody knows. All we know is that Scotty Barnes is here for the future and we need to build around him. Now, I don't know how to say his name. Kasparas Jakusionis. He is a turnover machine. He's hyped up as a ball dominant, do it all point guard. The dude has like 3.8 turnovers to 4.6 assists. Every time I see him, he's losing the ball. He has a really bad handle. He's throwing the ball to the wrong player, making a bad read. And he doesn't have a good understanding of the offensive systems, and he has a bad handle. I mean, you can't make this stuff up when a guy's turning the ball over almost 4 times a game as in college. That being said, his three-pointer is money. I think if we transition Kasparas to a sort of a more Buddy Hield, Grayson Allen type of role where his primary responsibility is to space the floor, but he can drive on a weak closeout if he needs to. He can make the next pass, the one-away pass. I think Kasparas is going to fit perfectly into any system. But at the number 4 overall pick, I'm thinking upside. I'm thinking potential. And all I see here is Trey Johnson from Texas. He is a bucket, a scoring machine. Defense leaves a little to be desired. I'll grant you that. But I think Trey Johnson is the next best player available VJ Edgecombe, I've said my piece about him. I think he's a bottom. I think maybe you take him late first round purely on athletic upside alone, but the dude can't shoot. He has no handle. He has no vision. He can barely play defense. His best ability is that he can jump really high, and I just don't really care about athleticism in today's NBA game. They don't need another ball handler. They already have Emmanuel Quickly. They already have Scotty Barnes, who can moonlight as a point guard. They already have RJ Barrett, who's ball dominant. Igor Demon would certainly be interesting, but I think they need some scoring here, and I'm going to take Trey Johnson ahead of Igor Demon, who goes number 5 overall to the Jazz. I've spoken about how much I love his game already. Now with the Blazers, it's tough, man. They have so many young players that they just need to figure out what to do with. You have Delano Banton, who's played probably the best in his career for this team. Scoot Henderson, number 3 overall pick. Anthony Simons, a bucket. Matisse Thybulle is here. I didn't even realize that. Shaden Sharp, supposed to be up and coming. And then their center position is stacked. Donovan Clingan, DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams. What to do? I think you want to go best forward wing player available for this team. And this, I guess, is where I would take a Kesperis Yakusionis. But again, I'm saying move him a little more off ball. I don't want him with the ball in his hands, turning it over night in and night out. Have him space the floor. Let Scoot Henderson go to work. Trade away Anthony Simons. Let Shaden Sharp go to work. He'll come in with the second unit. It's not going to be a very impactful number 6 overall pick, but I like Kesperis here. And at number 7 with the tanking Brooklyn Nets, you really just go best player available here. Now Nick Claxton is still on the team, so you don't want to go Kaman Moalak here, but this is definitely where you'd start to think about taking him. I know he's fallen a little bit, but give me Nolan Traore. Again, it's difficult to get tape on some of these guys who are playing across the seas. When last seen, he was a pretty good all-around point guard, so Nolan Traore is having a bad season in France, but remember, he's playing against adults. He's playing against higher level competition than most. I think Nolan Traore fallen out of the top 5, but I still would take a flyer on him here at pick 7 for this team that's looking for all upside. Here at pick number 8, it should be the Philadelphia 76ers, but they lose it via protections. So once again, the Oklahoma City Thunder find themselves with an abundance of talent, with an abundance of draft picks. They probably trade this away. They're at the point where they need some win now guys, and I think Liam McNeely is right here. The best I can say is he's a Corey Kispert approximation, 6'7", catch and shoot, very limited role, mediocre defender, but he's better on defense than Con Knipple is. Do not watch Con Knipple try to play defense. He is crazy awkward. He has shades of Max Strus before he got good, Sam Merrill before this season, AJ Green. Like, the dude is just unable to play defense. Maybe in 5 years, once he finally figures out like where his appendages belong on the basketball court, that's where Con Knipple can start to shine. But Con Knipple has shades of a G League guy, one of those under-talented 40% three-point shooters that just has to put it together, whereas Liam McNeely is definitely a win-now type of guy. Fits right into the culture that they're looking for in Oklahoma City Thunder. Now with the number 9 overall pick, the Chicago Bulls, and they just have to go best player available. Who has the highest potential on this list left over? Man, I don't know. I might go Ben Seraph here. Kind of similar shades to his Israeli co-star and Denny Avdia. Two-way potential primary ball handling, forward, guard, hybrid, does a little bit of everything. Not a great shooter, but he plays defense well. He can read the court well. Again, these guys that are playing internationally, it's tough to get tape on them. But I would take Ben Seraph here at number 9. Just continue to swing for the fences. They're still looking to blow it up. I know they just took I think his size paired up with Matas Buzelis' size. You trade away Zach LaVine, you trade away Nikola Vucevic, you trade away Lonzo Ball, you keep Kobe White, and you figure it out from there. And here at pick number 10, it's the who do we pair up alongside Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. Now you could go backup center here, send away Zach Collins, and just be huge with Kaman Moalak. I'm actually thinking about that right now. Asa Newell, same concept, same idea. VJ Edgecombe doesn't make a lot of sense. Con Knipple if you want to space the floor. Boogie Fland if you want to get another guard. We have Stephen Castle here. We have Chris Paul here. We have Devin Vassell here. You really just need spacing. I think you go shooter here. And there's not really a lot of shooters available at this point in the top 10. So I'm going to take Con Knipple even though I don't like the talent. I think Con Knipple is going to be basically 40% for his entire career. He's going to have basically the same role as every single 3-no-D shooter that I've already mentioned. He has to shoot 40% from the three-point line. Just catch and shoot 40%. Otherwise, he's being benched. Defensively, he just has to play hard enough. He has to give you enough effort to compensate for the fact that he's a horrific defender on ball and off ball, respectively. And at pick number 11, the Kevin Durant trade. Why did the Rockets have the Phoenix Suns number 11 overall pick? I am curious about that. Another team in win now mode, and I would say Asa Newell I kind of regard as a center, Kaman Wallach center, Derek Queen center. So do you want another undersized guard after you just drafted Reed Shepherd and he's been benched because he can't play defense to save his life? You want somebody who's two-way? This is gonna be my I don't know what direction to go with the Rockets pick here. I'm just gonna take my Steven Adams replacement. Trade away Steven Adams, or what sort of contract is he on? Don't re-sign him for $12 million a year. Get a backup to Alperen Şengün, get the best center available off the board. Kaman Wallach, defensive menace. If you saw that one possession, he just played freaky defense on all 5 guys for like 35 seconds in a singular possession. Kaman Wallach is going to be a defensive menace. Shades of Mark Williams, shades of Derek Lively, just every single super athletic 7-foot big man coming out of the draft with no shooting ability whatsoever. And at pick 12, wow, the Warriors really have the number 12 overall pick. I mean, I'd expect them to trade it away. They do need backup point guard, though Dennis Schroeder, they just traded for him. I've kind of been waiting to take one of the ball-dominant guards off the board, but I'm a big fan of Boogie Flan's game out of Arkansas. He's a little herky-jerky. His little Bones Highlands gets out of control. He's a little bit got that crazy to him, but I think you need to be a little bit crazy to have passing genius. You need to have that gusto to really make the pass that nobody else is comfortable making. Boogie Flan has that to him. Big fan of his game. I have him higher rated than Jeremiah Fears as the ball dominant scoring guard. Facilitation is going to be questionable, but they are kind of lacking in really strong ball handlers on this team. It goes Steph Curry, Dennis Schroeder. I don't think they're going to be able to resign him. Brandon Pajemski falling off a cliff. Andrew Wiggins is still here. Jonathan Kuminga is still here. Draymond Green is still here. So they either go big if Kaman Wallach is available. I don't really like Asa Newell or Derek Queen as another undersized center on this team. These wing players really don't do it for me. There's no real 3-and-D talent in this draft class. So I'm going to go best a little undersized ball dominant scoring guard. And I'm going to take Boogie Flan here in Golden State. And at pick number 13, another team with an abundance of talent ready to win now is the Detroit Pistons. What to do. Give me best player available. Give me the freak athlete. Give me VJ Edgecombe, and let's hope that they can develop him alongside Azar Thompson, alongside Ron Holland. Just put them all 3 in the same program. We're going to lock you into a gym, and we're going to make you dribble the ball for 3 hours straight with one hand. You're going to dribble the ball for 3 hours straight with the other hand, and then you're going to go to the corner, and you're going to catch and shoot threes for 3 hours straight. One of these 3 guys is going to be able to figure out how to have some semblance of offensive talent. And for the last pick in the lottery, and you can really go anywhere here. Before the Dyson Daniels trade, this team is kind of in the same boat as the Golden State Warriors, looking for a secondary ball handler behind Trae Young. But now they have Dyson Daniels. They drafted Kobe Buffkin in the first round a few years ago. He hasn't panned out yet. They have other guys who can bring up the ball like Jalen Johnson, like Vic Reggie. So you can really go best player available. Now the idea is that Clint Capella is probably not going to be back. So they already have Onyeka Okongwu slotted in, ready to take that next role. So you go best center available at this point. Colin Murray, Boyles, 6'7" centers just don't do it for me when you're picking in the lottery. So it's really, do you like Asa Newell? Do you like Derek Queen? Asa plays a little bit of a forward center hybrid. He theoretically has the athleticism to play the power forward position, but he doesn't have the skill set. Derek Queen is a little bit more of a traditional center, tries to get big, tries to body people. I would say take Asa Newell, play him at the center position, because this man cannot shoot. He has the same problem as every other guy in the college basketball who has no offensive ability whatsoever. Can't dribble, can't shoot, can't pass, but he's got a big body on him, 6'11", 200 pounds, freak athlete as well. And just continue looking at this interesting, rebuilding young Atlanta Hawks squad. That is going to be this year's mock draft as of, well, whenever you're watching this video. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you agreed with, what you disagreed with. Do you like the top 5? Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.